Hello. Excuse me in advance if I cough, sneeze, or sniffle during this video because I'm dealing with a cold, and this vlog is about being sick. Well, you know, when you're autistic, it's not fun. And this is something that non-autistic people don't seem to understand, and they think that, you know, an autistic person is just cranky to be cranky when they're sick, and that's not the case. Okay, an autistic person starts the day. Pretend that their tolerance is a bucket. You know, just like a bucket you use to wash the car. It starts out the beginning of the day, it's empty. There's nothing in the bucket. And then throughout the day, you know, there's some water that gets poured in, differing amounts depending on what goes on. And sometimes somebody might pour in too much and the bucket will overflow. But it might take a while for it to do that because it's pretty empty. But, you know, something major happens, you know, too much stimulation at once, you know, you just pour an entire ocean into that bucket and boom. Or maybe they're off their routine or whatever. But either way, the bucket starts empty. So it takes it some time to fill up, you know, throughout the day. By the end of the day, it might be 3/4 of the way full if there was no meltdown or shutdown. And, you know, everything's good. They calm down and they go to bed and life is great. Now you have a sick autistic person. They start their day with a bucket 3/4 of the way full. All those bad feelings that come from being sick, you know, sore throat, postnasal drip, that feeling of stuff going down the back of your throat, you know, that's postnasal drip. You know, a tickly throat, maybe their voice is hoarse, maybe their head hurts, maybe their joints ache, maybe their stomach is upset, maybe they're throwing up, maybe they've got diarrhea, you know, just all those unpleasant things that come from being sick. So the bucket is already 3/4 of the way full. And they have to go about their day, and they have to take in stimulation that would normally fill their bucket up to that far. So they're already at maximum, and just one little thing goes wrong, goes off, goes different, and that bucket overflows right away. Boom. That's what it's like to be sick when you're autistic. There is internal stimulation competing with the everyday baseline stimulation. And so people that are sick and autistic at the same time, you know, autism's not going to go away. The sickness will eventually. Whatever, the cold, the virus, the flu, whatever, you know, it goes away eventually. But until then, it creates a lot of unpleasantness. And, you know, neurotypical people can pretty much kind of deal with that kind of stimulation, but an autistic person, it's very, very difficult because the brain is going, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. Imagine trying to go about your day when somebody is constantly in front of you saying, there's something wrong, 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 hey, there's something wrong. You're sick, you're sick, you're sick, oh my gosh, you're sick, you're sick. That's basically what my brain does when I get sick. Okay, now, do you think you could manage to go about your day with that going on? Excuse me. But do you think you can manage your day with that going on in your head all the time? Try going to sleep with that. You know, you can kind of drown it out with, you know, cough medicine or whatever, but, you know, as soon as it wears off, it's going to be back. There's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And, you know, taking cough medicine or Tylenol or whatever, it might make it go from there's something wrong to there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. But, you know, you can make it feel a little bit better, but you can't make it really go away. Now, another thing is that people who aren't autistic seem able to distract themselves when they don't feel good. They might lay in bed and read or watch TV or doodle or crochet or whatever, you know, leisure activity they can do that doesn't require a lot of physical activity. They can just lay in bed and just kind of ignore it and just wait to feel better. That's not the case with me. You know, when I feel bad, I have to focus on it. You know, it's kind of the priority in my brain is that I feel bad. Leave me alone. I feel bad, you know. So, sorry, I'm stimming. Sorry. You know, I'm just, if you hear rattling, it's this. But, you know, I have to focus on it when I don't feel well. It's like, imagine there's a little candle in front of me right now. A little candle. And my mind is what's keeping that flame under control. Whether it's because of pain, or I don't feel well, or I'm nauseous, or I'm coughing, or whatever, I have to stay focused on that thing that feels bad to keep it small so that I can stand it. Because as soon as I take my focus off it for too long, whoosh, the house burns down. You know, it goes, unpleasant feeling goes all through my body, and it's just like, oh, I don't feel good. But if I focus on it and be like, yes, I don't feel good. Yes, I know, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. When I focus on it, I can kind of bear it. And you'd think that it would be boring. Like if I have a fever, I just want to lay in bed with my eyes shut. I don't want to do anything. And, you know, when people come in and talk to me, it's just like, go away, please. I don't feel good. I don't want to talk. Because when I get a fever, you know, my sense of hearing does really weird things. It'll get hypersensitive and then really hyposensitive, and it goes back and forth. One time when I had a fever, I know this for a fact, I heard somebody answer their cell phone 2 blocks away. It was weird. It was weird. So, yeah, I did. I heard that, hello? And it wasn't a hallucination. It was not a hallucination. But anyway, yeah, so I don't like to be like distracted when I don't feel well, because I'm just focusing on burying the fact that I don't feel well. It's, you know, I've never given birth, I've never been in labor, but, you know, you don't bother a mom when she's in active labor, if she's having an unmedicated birth. You know, you don't bother her with all this extra talking, you just let her focus on the contractions and breathing and just getting through it. And when I'm sick, you know, the same applies to me. Just let me deal with it. I don't want to have to talk to a bunch of people and explain things. Plus, you know, there's all the stimulation that makes it difficult for me to communicate, because like I said in another video, it's like a rave party going on in my brain, and all the signals have to get across all that noise. You know, it's 2 people across the room yelling at each other, you know, hey, what? Hey, what? Do you want to order pizza? Huh? I can't hear you. I said, do you want to order pizza? Oh, I can't hear you. Let's go outside. You know, it's kind of like that. So when I'm sick, it's hard to talk. It's hard to communicate. It's hard to express what is wrong. And I hate going to doctor's offices because I have to explain all this stuff. And sometimes they'll just poo-poo me and just be like, well, it's this. Ugh, I know what my body feels, people. And anyway, you know, if you're a caregiver for somebody that's autistic, if you're a parent of an autistic child, and your child's behavior, or the person you're taking care of, if their behavior goes through a drastic change when they're sick, consider the fact that they are putting up with extra stimulation that they're not used to. And it can be confusing and just feel terrible. You know, give them some leeway, give them a break. Don't make them do all their ordinary everyday things, you know, outside of routine. You know, if they are very engrossed in needing their routine, yes, you know, try to keep to it as best as you can. But don't try to push them through doing things if they're not feeling well, because you're just asking for a huge meltdown or a shutdown, and it's just not fun. It's not fun for either the caregiver or the autistic person. You know, being sick sucks. Don't make it worse. Okay? Alright? Hopefully I'll feel better in a few days, so I appreciate the people that sent me some get well wishes on my video when I said I couldn't do a choir video. I appreciate that, guys. Thanks. Bye.